Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are making this custom acrylic sign with copper leaf and a green background. So these were the design proofs that I sent to Macy to choose from, and she ended up going with the first option, and then this was the full set that we ended up making for her. But today we are focusing just on the welcome sign. All of the fonts and supplies are linked below in the video description, but I want to show you about the size of each decal that I made. This is actually going on a 24 by 32 inch piece of acrylic from my local plastics store. So when I'm ready to make my project, I just delete out the placeholders that I had there just to show the sizing for the proofs and how the fonts looked on each piece. So I just go ahead and delete that out and then go ahead and start cutting my vinyl. I cut this on the premium outdoor vinyl setting and use my Cricut maker to cut them. Now that all my pieces are cut, I start placing them onto my acrylic sheet. I like using my extra large Cricut mat to help align and center the decals onto my clear acrylic. So I always do this step before I paint or anything, just so I can easily see through it and the lines that are on that mat to help align my decals. Once all the signs are customized, I am ready to apply the copper leaf. So I recently used metal leaf and it was loose sheets that kind of made a mess. So I was intrigued whenever I saw these sheets and wanted to give them a go. So then I take a Elmer's gel glue stick and a little sponge like this and just kind of start sporadically applying it just in little sections because the glue does dry fairly fast. So I just put it in that little area and then I use my soft scraper to burnish that onto the acrylic. I continue on just kind of sporadically putting the glue around the names. I didn't put any copper leaf just directly behind the names just so you could easily read the names and that the copper wasn't distracting or anything from that. And then here I was kind of just applying and then peeling the sheet up as I went, just because I didn't want to waste any sheets on this, which you can see I was able to use the whole sheet on these. I just kind of worked my way around and what was left on the sheet I was able to kind of apply in those certain areas. So once my metal leaf is applied, I dust off the excess with a stencil brush. I like using the stencil brush because it is a kind of like a stiff, coarse brush that's great for getting this metal leaf off. And I'm even kind of like going in with a heavier hand, kind of like in the middle of some of those areas, just to kind of roughen it up and give it a more natural look. Once I've done that, I just go over it with a damp towel just to wipe off any little pieces that I missed. So here are the bridesmaids dresses that Macy is having for her wedding. So I use these two colors, mainly that teal color and just a little bit of the green mixed in to get a little bit of a darker teal look. And then I use a bigger sponge to just start applying that onto the acrylic. The most important thing when working with these kind of larger pieces that are all the same color like this, just make sure that you are starting with plenty, and I mean plenty of paint, because these really do take a lot of paint, and we are actually going to end up doing like 2 and 3 layers. But you want to make sure you have the same color at least for the first paint so it is a nice even tone and uniform, because if you like get paint on half of it and then you have to go mix more paint. It could possibly like look a little off from the paint that you applied already. So that is probably the most important thing, especially for this first layer. The second and the third layers don't necessarily need to be the exact same color. You'll see I even did like a little bit darker just to kind of help make it more of like a solid look that you couldn't necessarily see through. So I finished that first layer, let it completely dry, like even overnight if you need to, because you don't want the colors of your second and third layer to like show through or blend in with the wet paint. So I just let each layer completely dry before moving on to the next. And here is the final results. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I really hoped it helped with your own wedding planning, or at least give you some ideas. Macy and Colton's wedding is this Saturday, so best wishes to you two. Anyone else, let me know any questions that you have down below, and I will see you soon.